Here now to introduce C.M. Newton is his sponsor and former teammate from the University of Kentucky, Frank Ramsey.
51 years ago, last month, I met C.M. Newton for the first time. I was entering the University of Kentucky as a freshman, and he was already there as a sophomore. During the years since then, I watched him as a player, as a student, a husband, a father, a coach, and administrator. C.M. Newton is a man of integrity. During those times, he had to make some difficult choices. But the choices he made, and I know about, were never wrong. They were always a credit to his family, his community, and his institution. It's my pleasure to introduce C.M. Newton as a member of the Hall of Fame 2000 class.
C.M. is escorted by his son, Martin Newton.
Charles Martin C.M. Newton, your entire life has been one of contribution to the game of basketball and of success in the game. Few have done it with more class, and few will ever do it better in the future. By the vote of the Honors Committee and by the power of the Board of Trustees, it is my privilege to induct you as a contributor into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
You know, I never imagined or would have believed that my 50-plus years journey with and love affair for the game of basketball would lead to my enshrinement into the Basketball Hall of Fame. My wife, Evelyn, and I agreed in 1997 at the John Bunn Award ceremony when I was awarded the Bunn Award, that honor would, in essence, be my Hall of Fame. And this honor tonight truly puts an exclamation point on a long and varied career in a sport that I love and respect. There are many people and events that are responsible for reaching this milestone, events such as the opportunity to learn and play at a great institution, the University of Kentucky, and receiving that athletic scholarship and being a student athlete at the university and playing for Coach Rupp, being a freshman during a 1949 national championship team and being a member of the 51 NCAA championship team was very special. First coaching opportunity at Transylvania College, an NAIA school in Lexington, and having the opportunity to learn there. I've said many times that my 2 degrees were awarded at the University of Kentucky, but my real education was at Transylvania. I learned a great deal at a very young coaching age from players and from other students. The successes at Alabama and Vanderbilt, which proved that I could win and compete at the major college level as a coach, and then the opportunities and successes at the University of Kentucky as athletic director, where I had the total support of a great president who's here tonight, Dr. Charles Wethington, and now the tremendous job that Rick Pitino did to restore integrity and competitiveness to our program, and now the job that Tubby has done to carry that on. And finally, the opportunities to give back and to serve through the NABC board, through NCAA committees, and through international and USA basketball. The people are the major impact, and they're too numerous to mention, but I want to recognize some. My family, my mom and dad, who provided me the roots and the values, my sister Jean, who left us way too early in her life, to Newt, my brother, who was a real role model for me, and his wife Ruth, and to Bill Bryan, a nephew who's really a younger brother, and his wife Becky, Colonel Dick Newton, my nephew, and his wife Jody, the 3 children, Deborah, who's not able to be here. She's in Tucson starting a new job, and her young son, almost 9-year-old Joshua, and Tracy, who I heard from today and who is awaiting the birth of her second child, and it's going to happen at most any time. Incidentally, she told me today you're getting ready to be another grandfather of another grandson. And Phil, her husband, and Sheridan. And to Martin, who's meant so much to me. It's wonderful to be able to go from that father-son relationship to a peer relationship. And as Martin is kind of reversing that on me now, he's kind of being the father toward me. And his wife, Cindy, and who's here along with Madison and Zach, grandchildren, and Katie, who was not able to be here. To my teammates, and especially you, Frank, for your willingness to come and sponsor me. But all the teammates that I had an opportunity to learn from and play with, to the coaches and mentors that I learned from, particularly Coach Rupp and Coach Bryant. And Morgan, a high school coach named Clovis Caldwell, probably had as much or more impact on me than any man that I ever knew. The players, Wendell Hudson, who's here tonight with his wife, Belinda. And I'm going to tell this quick story about Wendell, and I hope it doesn't embarrass him. Wendell was the first African-American student athlete in any sport at the University of Alabama in 1969. Now, to give you some historical perspective, that was about 5 or 6 years after George Wallace stood in the schoolhouse door to keep blacks from entering the University of Alabama. And Wendell took the risk and showed the courage to come, and for a year was the only African-American athlete at our university. And when I thought of this enshrinement, as I was filling out the form for enshrinement, there's a place there that said spouse. My wife, Evelyn, died last March, so I have no spouse at this point. I thought, well, I called Wendell, I said, you want a free trip to the Hall of Fame? And he said, yeah, I think that'd be great, Coach. And I said, well, there's one catch to this. You're going to be my spouse. And with that, he said, you know, Coach, and Wendell not only played for me 4 years, he coached with me for about 5. He said, Coach, you've asked me to do a lot of things. And he says, this is a real stretch. But other former players who are here, Leon Douglas, a great All-American center who had the opportunity to play with Dean Smith and others in international play, Paul Ellis and Farrah Alford. To the presidents and administrators that I worked for, particularly Dr. Wethington, who I've mentioned, but also Roy Kramer and Dr. Frank Rose, who hired me at Transylvania, my co-workers, all those assistant coaches, trainers, managers, administrators, Kathy DeBoer, who's here, the NCAA staff that gave me an opportunity to work on committees, particularly Tom Jernstead and Ced Dempsey and others, and the USA basketball staff and officers, Warren Brown, Dave Gavitt, who I worked with, and Russ Granick, the current president of USA Basketball. To the members of the media, you have an important role to play in helping this game, and you've always been fair with me, and I'm appreciative of that. And finally, to my friends and supporters, particularly some who are here tonight, John and Betty McMahon, who are family to me, Bob and Rita Woodcock, Billy Simpson, and so many others. And finally, a special thanks to Evelyn. Evelyn and I first met each other in the first grade. Now, that's a long time ago, and we were married for 49 years, and she was my co-coach, my spiritual advisor, my wife, my lover, my children's mother, my grandparents' grandchildren's grandmother, but most of all, my best friend. And I just wish that she were here to share in this honor because she played such a major role in making this honor possible. Thanks to the Board of Trustees, to the Hall of Fame, and to all who have a part in making this a very special time for me. Thank you.